All it says is teams, signs, blarg, stuff. All right. If you believe you've got Ohio State dead to rights, I'll help you deliver it to the NCAA. Let's go get them. My team stinks. Happy to help. But guys, I really wonder, and shout out Stoney. He asked maybe the simplest but the right question. What should happen? And that's what we're talking about. Because for Rico and I, this is not a win. You think we're tuck in a hotel room over this? This ain't a win for us. This ain't fun for me. This sucks. It's stupid. I don't like your school. I never have. I don't need a scandal to not like you. And do I think you cheated? Do I think you impacted the game? Hell yes, I do. But I live in the real world. I will believe it when I see it. When the Big Ten or the NCAA or the CFP drops a hammer on you. Now, what should happen? It's easy for me. But I've offered you, Rico's offered you our solutions to what keep you on track to play. If you don't like them, what's yours? Because the one thing you haven't heard this show say is any of this John Taffer, you don't deserve to serve food, shut it down stuff. We're not saying that.
If you think it's nothing, why? Why is it nothing?
But what you don't get to say is everyone's doing it. Everyone's not doing it. And if MSU were doing it, they've made some really bad investments because we're terrible at this. Christ. It's like you hired Connor Stallions, who's like Mission Impossible creepazoid. MSU hired Ernie the Can Man.
I was about to say they hired Connor Cook.
Johnny Spirit.
And nobody liked him.
Johnny Spirit and his broken camcorder.
Right. Whoever the quarterback, nobody came to his party in draft day.
Was it Bo Callahan?
Yeah, they drafted him.
David, the ticket text, and we'll get to the callers.
If you get signs from other teams, you're using a network, quote unquote, of in-person scouting. That's not your own coaches. That is illegal.
It's not in-person scouting. If you take legally sourced material and you want to say that the sharing of it is illegal, I'll live with that. But it is not what you did. Right. It's not.
And that is something that most coaches do. They will share with other coaching friends, hey, here you go. Here's the information that we had. You can have it. They didn't get it illegally. They're just, there you go. Now, if that's gray area, that's gray area. But that's one where you're probably going to get this. Now, if they went and bought tickets to games and scouted somebody.
Go get them.
That's different.
Get Dog the Bounty Hunter out there. Go get them. And I'll help you do it. But you don't have that. Because if you had it, you would have dropped that bomb. You don't have it. I almost feel like this whole Michigan offensive thing, it's like when you see the Chick-fil-A thing and it's the cows writing the signs, eat more chicken. It's like, that's what you want me to do? That's what's going to absolve you? More is not spelled M-O-A-R? Come on, guys. It's all of this is such a waste of time. We know you cheated. We know you did dirt. We also know no one's going to punish you because the TV execs run the sport. The worst thing that I think could happen to you with Harbaugh being suspended, which is a giant wet fart because it has nothing to do with you winning football games. Sharon will call the O, Minner will call the D, and if your players are good enough, you're going to win the games. All right, it's not Newt Rockney here.
Michigan fans have the ability to essentially end the Big Ten season if this league is treated the same. Not to mention, this means there was no competitive advantage.
Wait, hold on. Time out. Hold on. Can you reread that for me?
Michigan has the ability to essentially end the Big Ten season if this league is treated the same.
Hey, buddy, I got news for you. I'll make a donation to your favorite charity if you could end it before MSU plays OSU Saturday night. Shut it down. I'm fine with it.
Cool.
Well, someone else did send a text later on saying that if it's all found out to be true, then that means Michigan State gets to go to Indianapolis.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they were not involved.
I mean, Christ.
Oh, man.
I got to tell you.
Michigan State versus Iowa, part 2. game that no one wants.
Did Mike Lindell go to U of M? I mean, some of y'all are nuts. I got to tell you. You're right. Michigan's going to shut down. What are they, Jean-Luc Picard, master of the space universe? What? You're shutting down the Big Ten season?
Shut it down.
Shut it down. Ay.
This is fascinating how this is going to turn out. Michigan is big enough and powerful enough to fight the NCAA and the Big Ten. I can't wait to see how this ends.
Are they? Let me ask you a question. Is anyone powerful enough with no support to win any battle? If none of the other presidents and ADs and coaches support you, mind you, do you know who else wouldn't support you down the line? The other schools that want your spot. I mean, I guess I don't understand, like, what are you, Flash Gordon? What do you mean you're big enough to fight? What grounds are you fighting on?
I guess they figured that they're going to get all the money and financial backing they can get, and they're the Block M. And this is where sometimes you hear about athletes and teams that read their own press clippings, and then all of a sudden they find out real quick, wow, I was a little delusional, a little delulu, as the kids say now.
Delulu?
Yeah. I was a little delulu. And that's where we're Michigan. It's don't you know who I am?
If you're an adult who says Delulu.
I said as the kids
say. I know. Let's go to the people. We'll go to Terry, 97.1. Hi, Terry. How you doing?
Hey, I'm great. Guys, I'll be real quick. I know you got lots of callers, but I just want to go back to about a year ago when we had the incident at the tunnel. And if you remember, it was Jim Harbaugh and everybody from Michigan coming out. And one thing they didn't do, they didn't talk about due process for Michigan State. What they did basically is they wanted blood. They wanted it now. And everybody acquiesced. Michigan State stood up. They took their punishment. But unfortunately, now Michigan wants to talk due process, which I think is a joke. My remedy in this, which will take the pressure off of everybody immediately, would be to ban Michigan from bowl games this season. What that would do, it would take the pressure off of the College Football Playoff Committee because they said they're not going to get in it. The NCAA has basically said, hey, we're years out. So that would take the pressure off of everybody because if you remember, due to this cheating, look at what people have lost. They have lost potentially a Heisman in the quarterback from Ohio State the last 2 years.
Sure.
Coaches have lost their jobs. So that would be my pound of flesh. And I'll say one other thing. If you look at this and quote unquote in the court system, the more you fight against things, the harder the punishment becomes. I want them to come out, admit what they've done, make them bowl ineligible for this year, and let the NCAA and everybody else do what they do later on.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's funny, and Terry, I appreciate it. It is funny, though, how far people will go, because let's say this report about Illinois having your stuff comes out. That was your closest game of the year. You should have lost. Corum got hurt. All the things you've never wanted to acknowledge. Minimal competitive advantage.
I thought you were going to play the chair.
Player safety. Like, you would have to then lay down your sword on that front.
Of course.
So but you're in a vortex of insanity.
Right. Sponsored by Movable Goalpost. With wheels this year.
I know. No, I mean, listen. I sure as hell wouldn't shed a tear if they banned you from a bowl. Be radio gold. I have no expectation that'll happen. Oh, I admit it, though. See, that's different. I'm admitting to you that would be personal bias of I just want to watch the world burn from a good, safe distance.
Typical little brother.
Little brother? Man, little bro's got a gravestone over his head. Leave me alone. I'm dead.
Little brother getting potty trained right now.
MSU goes to potty and it's off the wall. I mean, give me a break. We got our own problems.
Oops.
We're Jim Carrey and me, myself, and Irene after he wakes up in the morning. Wow!
Oh, look what we got here.
Something about Mary.
Or no, what is it? Me, myself, and Irene.
No, that was me. Yeah, that was me, myself, and
That
Irene.
was me, myself. I'm talking about, yeah.
I see what you did. Okay, noted. Is that hair gel?
Oh, what do we have here? Oh, did we have fun last night?
Okay, all right,
That's
okay.
enough.
You
Read
used that.
something.
Probably best if you read. Probably best if you read.
All righty. You know what? The winter is coming up. As you see, the days are getting shorter. It's getting colder outside. Winter semester at Specs at LTU is going to be happening soon. If you want to be a part of the next class, here's what I need you to do. You need to hurry up. You need to be curious and visit the website, ltu.edu/specs, to learn more about the broadcast media arts, digital media arts, and graphics communications program through the Specs at LTU programs. Located right here in Southfield on the campus of Lawrence Tech. What does all this mean? It means if you want a career in radio, TV, graphic design, Specs at LTU can help you achieve your goals. The winter semester is coming up, so you need to get started now. Reserve your space. Go visit the website, ltu.edu/specs, to learn more. While you're there, make magic by enrolling in Specs at LTU certificate program today.
Oh, hi there. Listen, truck accidents, huge issue. Fatality, serious injury, and Lord knows our state, we got more 18-wheelers going through it than anybody. The attorney you choose has to have specialized knowledge and expertise to handle these cases. That's David Femininio. He's helped victims of truck accidents for over 25 years, and they're at the ready to help you right now. You've been injured in a big truck accident? 855 65crash, or go to that website, getpaid.com. All right. Let's get to the people, shall we? Tomorrow's going to be a big day. I'm looking forward to it like the last breath I take on this planet. And we're asking what should happen. And again, we're trying to cover the other side, which is the AP report, which I think is not to borrow one of your phrases, a nothing burger, which is, okay, if Rutgers or OSU or Illinois had your signs, how'd they obtain them? Is there a travel log? Did they have a network? Did they illegally record you? I have given you the address for the NCAA, and if Michigan wants to be a leader of change, respect, turn them in. You want to burn down the whole conference? Burn it down. But it ain't got nothing to do with what you did. That don't work. This ain't third grade. Well, little Tommy stole crayons. Yeah, but I didn't catch him. I caught you.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you go ahead and turn it in, but just make sure you're correct. If not, you end up putting the stuff out there.
Hey, by the way, what happened to Harbaugh's extension that was supposed to be a fait accompli?
Oh, it's going to happen. Last Friday while you were off, didn't it? Oh, no.
Well, what changed? I mean, if Michigan did nothing wrong and everybody's doing it, where's the extension?
I think it got fed to the winner of the Breeders' Cup.
But good pull. But wouldn't they, White Abario, hell of a horse. But what?
Well, it's got to be white.
Because the horse is literally, the horse is almost white. Black horses are very rare. Dark brown, but a true black horse. Okay, we're really sidetracking.
Yes, we are.
You know what? I'm going to go to Jordan. I'm done. Jordan, how are you?
Good. How about yourself, guys?
Hey,
Good.
man.
What's going on?
Well, I have a two-part thing here. First one's more of a question, but I'll start there, I guess. The thing that, to me, is, I guess, somewhat almost comical is that they want to threaten to sue for banning him without proof, but yet this year, to start the season, they took a self-imposed 3-game suspension on something that they still claim they didn't do. So why now do they have this crazy moral victory type of a thing going on to, if you do anything to our coach, we're going to sue you. But yet in the beginning of the season, your own university that's standing up saying you're going to sue now did that already. I mean, I guess it's just interesting to me, I guess.
You know, Jordan, that's a great point. I think, and let me answer, I think they knew the NCAA moved slowly, so if we look as if we did something, maybe you'll forget about it and put it on the back burner. The Big Ten was ready to come in right here, right now, and take care of this, and that's why all of a sudden, well, wait, you're not going to give us like 3 years like the NCAA? No, we're giving you 3 days. Here you go. That's why. But you're right. You know what? They didn't need due process at the beginning of the year. They just said, nah, you know what, 3 games.
Yeah, and then also with the whole what the punishment should be, I guess, I don't really have the answer to that. In all honesty, I'm an MSU fan. Full transparency, I'm sure everybody figured that out just by my statement, but I don't really care about any of this. I'm kind of in similar regard to you guys. Honestly, like every one of my Michigan friends keep asking me, this, that, whatever. I don't want to hear about this anymore. I don't care that you guys cheated as far as I'm concerned. So now it's out there that you're the same as Ohio State and everybody else that does it. Alabama. And name the school. They all do it. I don't really care. But what I don't get is how if you're going to pull wins and a trophy from USC for a paid player, and after the fact, now that's legal. You can legally do that. I guess in my thoughts, I'm kind of like, well, I guess if you cheated and it's been proven, and it will, if it is proven, I mean, I know it's still kind of up in the air somewhat, but if it's proven that you guys cheated on these last 2 years and all these wins and Big Ten titles and all that stuff, how can you actually allow them to keep them, but yet you still haven't given anybody's wins back for paying a player, even though every player's paid now?
Jordan, it's also, and you're not wrong. It's the folly of the NCAA. It's why, Reggie Bush won the Heisman Trophy. I don't know what you do with the last 2 years. I think clearly Petiti and the NCAA have a lot more stuff than we have access to. And if you really can show it, and this cheating was going on during it, see, again, if you're going to bring up and make a stink about someone having your stuff, then you don't get to say, well, it has no advantage. No, then what are we even doing? Look, people have a right to ask questions. I think you have a good football team regardless of what you do. But people have a right to say that your ascension directly aligns with this.
Yeah.
People have a right to say that your second halves, it's been the greatest stretch of second halves in the history of modern college football. I don't think I've ever seen a team outscore opponents the way that you have. You can get upset, but you really don't have a leg to stand on when you do. Like, that's just what it is. It's like once someone has been caught embezzling money or doing wrong, like you lose benefit of the doubt.
You lose credibility. And
Correct.
That's what's happened.
So, yeah.
And saying that everybody else does it,
Do they?
That's not really, well, they're doing it too. You created a syndicate in order to get this done, where you had people on a payroll and you sent them to games. You paid for hotel rooms.
Plus, I got to be
honest
honest
with
with
you,
you,
tickets.
I take a lot less offense to Reggie Bush's mom getting a house than I do affecting the actual games.
But
I've always felt that way.
And this is one where seriously the cover up still worse than the crime. Had you just come out the week of the Michigan State game, we're going to look into this. If this is true, it's not good. But until we figure this out, we're just going to go ahead and indefinitely suspend some people. Didn't even have to be Harbaugh. Offensive, defensive coordinators are going to be gone for a few weeks till we get to the end of this. I think that would have been enough for everybody. And this is no longer a story. Everybody stops digging. But you didn't. By fighting it and dragging this on, there's going to be more and more things. And if you make this legal, make it turn into a legal case, discovery kicks in, and now, man, people are going to start finding out stuff you really didn't want
And
them
they're
to know.
doing it all for a coach who won't be here next year.
Oh, my God.
It is the damnedest thing.
He's been trying to leave on the first thing smoking. Like, honestly, he's like a standby passenger on a plane, but he keeps getting bumped. He wants out of here, but he just can't get a seat.
You good, David? Oh, I didn't know if you wanted to like cap the segment there. I just didn't know you were leaning slowly towards the microphone. 248.
I just need more stuff to break right at this so I can give a great tease.
No, I don't want any more.
I
can't stand this story anymore.
Oh, you love it.
I don't.
Sparty.
You know what? Let me tell you something.
Wait. Is this the mac and cheese pizza?
This is the Kenny
Oh,
Collins.
yes!
Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah, this is right.
This is what you need for your life when you're waiting for all the stuff to happen. Get yourself a good mac and cheese pizza. I'm sorry, you sell it.
There you go. Said no Italian person ever. Listen, Hungry Howie's, their pizza's good. I do not vouch for mac and cheese pizza, but guess what? It's a thing, and people order it. Apparently, it's their most popular monthly pizza they do.
It's a Detroit thing, I guess.
It's a Kenny thing. Every non-Italian person on the planet will order this.
We don't discriminate. Italians, you could have it too.
Kenny, for the Red Wings and Rangers tonight, mac and cheese pizza. Any chance of that happening? LGRW.
I think it might. I think it could.
Hold on. For $2 more, add buffalo chicken or jalapeno bacon. Here's what I'll do. I will never order one of those, but I will buy one for you. I'm going to Venmo you right now, and you eat that tonight. There you go. It's Kenny Cott's Let's Go Red Wings mac and cheese pizza, brought to you by Hungry Howie's. I can't believe that's
sponsored by Grandma Nona.
Sponsored by Grandma Mitzi. All right? The offer won't last forever. Some of us say thankfully. It's the mac and cheese pizza, Hungry Howie's. All right, you know what we're talking about, against my will. So here's the deal. We'll get to the phones. I just see it for what it is. Michigan's running a nice little distraction campaign. Ooh, you pulled us over? Well, David Speeds. One problem. This report that has been put out there, it doesn't have any teeth. It does not say if the signals were obtained illegally. It does not show some pattern of travel. It is not the same as what you do. You're essentially doing what some of your douchey East Coast students do. Do you know who my father is? Yeah, I don't care. Like, what are we doing here? So I've asked you what should happen. And I mean, David, do we have any audio? Morning's interviews, Harbaugh. We got anything there? That must have been the very next question that was going to be asked. My bad. They ran out of time.
Yep.
But Ric Flair, though.
Right.
Oh.
Right. Woo.
Well, that's more important.
Woo. So let's talk about it. What should happen? Tomorrow's going to be D-Day. You tell me. But I don't want to do this false equivalency crap. I don't think this newest report exonerates you. Oh, hey, look, so-and-so got caught cheating on his wife. Yeah? Well, he does it too. That ain't fixing your situation, bub. Come on. Let's be better. Let's go to Chris, 97.1. What's up, Chris? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. How are you guys doing?
Good, pal.
Good. Just call it more so, I mean, I'll answer your question, but more so just the guy who called first, Brent, that guy was a total clown. He's the problem with Michigan, kind of the fan base and what everybody else thinks about it. I mean, they just whataboutism. The hypocrisy of it all. I don't see Rich Eisen do anything on his TV show except for just come out and defend and attack. And I just think it's also funny that yesterday I was seeing people going around talking about, on Twitter, talking about how it's going to be toxic in Ann Arbor this year for Ohio State and how it's going to be dangerous. And I didn't see any Michigan fans doing what they did, when you mentioned it back when at the beginning of the season.
Funny how that works.
Isn't that a coinky-dink?
I know. I wanted to make sure to bring that up. And then lastly, your question about what should happen to him. I mean, I don't know what will happen to him. I'm with you. I think the money will be what the money will do what money does. But I think that the worst of the worst, death penalty, and that's coming from somebody who didn't grow up in the rivalry. So I think it's actually scumbag stuff that they did. But it was just thought that I just had those points to make. So
no, and I mean, Chris, appreciate it. And like I said, it didn't bring me pleasure to say what I said before, and I'm not happy to tell you that people are so unhinged in our society today that going to a football game could be a problem for certain people. But that's where we've arrived at. No, if I were an Ohio State fan, would I be at that game? No, I would not. That wasn't some hot take I offered you. I always talk about fan behavior. I talk about look every weekend in the NFL. Dude, we've had people die this year at NFL games. You know what I'm not willing to do? Die in the name of a stupid football game. Hell, we're over here trying to have a decent time. I'd much rather be talking about the Wings playing the Rangers tonight and being excited about one of our teams getting off the mat. But I don't speak for other people at this place. They're all their own people. But I don't care about something enough in sports to suspend disbelief or to turn myself into the My Pillow guy. I don't care about it. I don't love Michigan State enough to do that. I sure as hell don't love your school enough. So if you think you got a dossier on all these schools, man, drop it like it's hot. But I know you won't. Because in the end, you're guilty. I think this is one big game of chicken. Now, if Michigan wants to burn the conference down, great. That has no impact on me. That's great for radio. If you don't like the conference, leave. The rest of us would love it. Leave. You always think you're better than everyone anyway. Leave. Go to the SEC. You'll never win the conference once in your life. Leave.
But by the way, don't cash that check.
Right, I'm just saying.
Just go ahead and walk out the door, leave the check. Because, it's cold out there. If you really want to leave, if you come back, reduce rates.
So what should happen? Because tomorrow, it sounds like it's going to be a big info day. God help me.
Yeah. So
just let it end, please.
Saying, hey, looks like
what?
That maybe somebody took your advice. This is according to John Bacon. The Big Ten's Tony Petiti was informed.
Johnny Porkfats!
The two programs that fed Purdue was Michigan's signals before the 2022 game were Rutgers and Ohio State. Not clear if rules were broken.
What was that again?
Not clear if rules were broken.
What, one more time. I don't hear so well in my left ear.
Not clear if rules broken.
Oh.
Doesn't directly affect Michigan's situation.
Oh, wait, hold on. My hearing aid's not working.
Doesn't directly affect Michigan's situation.
What was that? Buy my book on a sinking boat?
Doesn't directly affect Michigan's situation, but raises questions, re relative competitive advantage.
Got it. I'm going to borrow a line from them. Nothing burger. I mean, that guy at least has an excuse to be crazy. He was a crackhead. What the hell's y'all's problem? I mean, Jesus. My name is Steven. I used to be addicted to crack.
Welcome back, Rico.
I wasn't ready for that.
That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty. You got to have a little fun. What the hell, man? It's sports. This isn't war. Like, I love getting upset about my team. I like getting upset about losing. You know, how the hell? I'm not treating this like the fate of the free world is on this.
To some people, it is.
Then seek help. Live a more meaningful life. Yeah. Christ. I like be angry if you lose a game. Flip out, yell, scream. That's great. Yeah. If your school does dirt, you get caught. I mean, what the hell are we doing? But if you want to sound like that cat, go ahead. Oh, my goodness. Okay, you know what?
See, I thought it was going to be something with the Nino Brown. You won.
You thought it was going to be the Harbaugh audio from this morning.
Yeah. Nino Brown. Jim Harbaugh. What do you have to say about it?
That's actually Santa Ono live from the office. All right, no sweat, same game parlay. Thursday night football. What a segue. God, what is Thursday night this week? What is it, like Colts and Titans or something?
Bears, Panthers.
Oh, God.
Wait till, what is it, Sunday night? Wait till you get to that one.
Build the parlay, otherwise you can't watch this game. Brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel.com/ticket. Get involved, the official sports betting partner of 97.1 The Ticket. 21 and up, present Michigan. Refund issued, non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund, $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms, sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-270-7117. All right, we'll get back to your calls momentarily. Just for our own sanity, a word on the rest of college football. Let's power rank this puppy. David. I have grown to enjoy this segment, and it is a reminder for the people who will angrily go to Ticket Text. This is not the AP poll. If you want the AP poll, go and get it. This is a power rank. This is about if Team A played Team B this week, who Rico Beard believes would win. That's it. That's all.
That is it, Mike. And let's just go ahead and get started with this. I actually had to seek counsel from my wartime consigliere.
Aha.
At number 10, we like to welcome back Penn State. Penn State, 8-1 on the road at Maryland. And wow, what a bounce back. They destroyed Maryland 51-15.
Here's the only takeaway I offer you. They threw 6 passes at least 20 yards down the field. They'd only done that 14 times all year prior. Drew Aller completed 3 of them. I'm not telling you that changes anything, but if you're going to beat Michigan, I do have a hard time imagining you'll do it in 10, 11, 12, 13 play drives. You must have explosiveness. Penn State looks to have none of it. This weekend, to me, is kind of the final frontier for James Franklin. No coach. Well, one coach has been a bigger fraud. But no coach other than that is a bigger fraud than James Franklin. He has been there how long? Where are the signature wins? Where's the Big Ten championship? This is the end of the line. You're at home. It's noon.
Yeah.
Michigan's in a little bit of chaos. They haven't played anybody. You're battle tested. Show me you're worth it.
Yeah, exactly. They are there. At number 9, we have Ole Miss. Ole Miss had the bye week. They got Georgia coming up this weekend. We're going to find out everything we know about Ole Miss. Kind of like Penn State.
And again, it's not about being good or bad. Ole Miss is a good football team. But if you want to be considered a playoff team, you got to be great. You got to be elite. Now, Ole Miss had a dress rehearsal for this game. They went to Tuscaloosa, and they couldn't beat what I think is one of the lesser Bama teams of a decade. Okay, well, same thing I said about James Franklin. Lane, here it is. You win this game, you elevate Ole Miss's profile. You win this game, you now can talk about doing something unthinkable at Ole Miss, which is actually getting to an SEC championship game.
Yep.
Do I think they'll do it? Hell no, I don't. But they have a right to be on that list. So I'm good where we're at so far. Because I don't think either team will be there next week.
Teams 5 through 8, I consider the next tier. It's very difficult. But, Mike, at number 8, your Texas Longhorns.
They're just surviving without Quinn Ewers. It doesn't have to be a work of art. Malik Murphy's horrific. Ewers could play this weekend at TCU. I think they're perfectly ranked where you got them. Without Ewers, they can't be placed any higher than this.
See, I don't think they even need to play Ewers against TCU. If you can squeeze an extra week out of him.
Yeah, but the frog
I know,
thing and the fangs.
I know, but you have bigger fish to fry, and TCU is not the same TCU.
Noted. Yeah,
you can beat them.
Pretty terrible. Yeah, no, I like him at 8. I'm good with that.
At number 7, I get the University of Oregon.
Oh, we have a huge disagreement now.
Oregon.
This list is crap.
There's a method to the madness.
Let me hear it.
Oregon defeated Cal. They destroyed Cal 63-19.
Stealing a child's wheelchair.
And Bo Nix in year 9 went out there and really put up Heisman Trophy-like numbers.
That's what he's done all year. Where's the but?
The but is the team I have at 6.
Okay, I'm going to listen to this because I'll just tell you Oregon would be in my top 5. So just do your thing. Your power.
You know what? It's funny because we had an argument over that. That's why I had to talk to my wartime consigliere over there.
Okay.
Kenny Cott.
Go ahead.
At number 6, I got Alabama. Alabama defeating LSU. Better victory. It was like 1 and 1A, but I rewarded Alabama for basically just – and before Jaden Daniels went out the game, Alabama was in control of that game. they were going to win.
Yeah, they were up 14 when Daniels went out.
That was a signature moment for this really underrated Alabama team. So that's why I got Alabama sitting at 6.
It's zombie Bama. I mean, it's either Milroe scrambling or hitting a deep shot. There's nothing intermediate, nothing short. He's incapable of doing it. Their O-line is nowhere near where it should be.
So he's a bulked-up Denard Robinson.
He's a bulked-up Joe Milton. I mean, it's just what it is. But again, Bama might find a way to being 11-1. It's absolutely crazy to me.
At number 5, I had the University of Michigan. You beat Purdue 41-13, but you've kind of soured me because when you broke down how many the best offenses that they played all year.
Yeah, let me pull it up.
That
I got that in my little notes.
That's why I had to talk to Kenny because they are undefeated.
Yeah,
I have to respect the fact that there is a 0 right there.
Here are the offenses.
But I seriously thought about moving Bama and Oregon ahead of them.
There's 133 Division I teams. Here are the level of offense Michigan has played. 130, 129, 127, 118, 113, 111, 102. They've played one offense in the top 90. It's UNLV. Very hard to grade them.
I do not respect your schedule, but you are undefeated. I think that...
And you've been impressive in victory.
You have. But they haven't played. But, Mike, I look at Bama and Oregon... I like those two teams better, but you're undefeated, so I'm going to respect the fact you haven't lost. At number 4, the Ohio State University. Waking up in the second half may not work against good teams because Rutgers had you beat. You fell for the fumble-rooski. Now, you pulled away. You start throwing the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr., which I still don't understand why you have to be reminded that you have the number 2 or 3 pick in the draft as a wide receiver.
He may go number 1 if Arizona gets it.
But
carry on.
You got Ibuka. You got weapons, and somehow or another, McCord just struggles. And it's like, wait, I can throw to him. Yes, you can. Ohio State wins 35-16. They are at number 4. At number 3, winning the shootout in L.A.
Oh, Rico.
The Washington Huskies.
Totally overrated.
52-42.
Wouldn't beat Michigan. Wouldn't beat OSU. Wouldn't beat Oregon in a rematch. Wouldn't beat Texas with Ewers. You can put them there. That is FAF. Fake as rhymes with duck. I can't with that team. The middle of that offensive line sucks. They can't stop a damn thing on defense.
They don't have to. They just outscore.
Penix is wonderful, but you're not gonna win a title that way, and you know it.
Oh no, you're not. You're gonna have to play defense. You got lucky playing USC. But,
all right, it's a power rank.
Let it play out.
Ooh, that was like a John remix. I like that.
At number 2, very impressed. They beat Pitt. It's Florida State. They went to Pitt, and they won 24-7, except, David, when you realize they did not have their 2 starting wide receivers, and they still got it done on the road. And it was, even though it's 24-7, it was never that close. You knew they were going to win this game. And at number 1, Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia defeats Missouri, ranked team. They got it done. It may not have been pretty, but that was classic SEC football.
Look, they still won by 9. It's a 2-possession game. Mizzou's a really good team. They are. I mean, I think they're probably one of the 16 to 18 best teams in America. It's a good test. Would I like to have seen Georgia a little more impressive? Sure. But here's what you can't leave out. They did it without their best player and arguably the best player in America. Brock Bowers is the number 1 college football player in America.
Except I'm starting to think that maybe they can just grow tight ends on trees.
Well, baby Bowers, whatever that kid's name is.
Delp. You're talking about Oscar Delp.
Oscar Delp.
I was like, wait, I thought he was hurt. Oh, that's not him.
That's baby Brock. Yeah.
I was like,
that's like Brock Bowers' mini pony.
Right. It's like back in the day when Penn State would just lose a linebacker and another one just pop in there and then we're going to keep this thing going. I like Georgia. I thought that was a very impressive win, Kenny. Your team sits at number 1. That's your power rankings. 97-1.
God almighty, that's awful. I do, you could keep this music up. Do you have this as a backing track? Because I want to read for you. Another coach has gone on record about U of M. Lane Kiffin was just on SportsCenter, head coach of Ole Miss. Quote, when asked about Michigan sign stealing, obviously it happens in games and coaches talk to each other. But that's a whole nother animal, the accusations there. That would dramatically change how you perform as a team and dramatically change what your record would be. I don't know the details of it, but those would be severe things if those were true. Don't get mad at me, get mad at Lane Kiffin. David, the ticket text, and then we'll get to the callers.
Michigan didn't send Connor Stallions anywhere, remember? Connor Stallions acted alone.
Hey, remember when he was in Spartan Stadium? And here's the other thing. Okay, maybe you're right. And you might be right. Maybe he acted alone. You have one problem on your hands. Your logo's on his paycheck. You bear a responsibility for his actions. It's like having a rogue assistant coach. A guy who just recruits his wiener off. And you go, how does this guy keep closing the deal? And then you find out he's doing some dirt to seal the deal with these players. And he don't tell nobody. And he went rogue. You pay the price. You have a rogue booster. That booster does some dirt. You end up guys.
Happy from blue chips.
You may as well be Simone Biles because this is the mental gymnastics Olympics.
Well, also we'll say this. Somebody knew because somebody was bankrolling this. This wasn't something he was paying out of his own pocket.
Well, but he comes from money. Okay, the parents are teaching.
He really doesn't. Well, he makes 55. Okay, well, you take your taxes away, and now you're sitting at about 35.
We're looking at a guy who, according to reports, may have had as many 65 people on his payroll.
So somebody else knew. I don't know who. I don't know if it was a coach. I don't know if it was a booth. Somebody was paying for this.
If he dotted everybody $500 to go watch a game, he's officially broke. And if you do it over the course of 3 years, listen, anything's possible. Maybe he's an oil baron. Maybe he owned a bunch of crypto. I don't know. My point
unless he's Rudy and he's sleeping in the janitor's closet at the stadium.
That was on the other day. I almost texted both of you.
Good movie. You don't have to like Notre Dame, and we know Rudy's a scumbag, but good movie.
He's so little.
Shall we? To the people?
Yes.
I believe Barry is next, 97.1. Barry, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, guys. How are you?
Barry, what's going on, buddy?
Are you there? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. What's up?
Michael, Rico. Great to hear you guys again. These Michigan, I'm a Michigan fan, first of all, but these other Michigan fans are an embarrassment. I mean, they're absolutely delusional, and I really hope that none of them have kids. Because if this is what you're teaching your kids, to me, it's like you find out that your kid got caught cheating on a test, and now you're blaming the teacher and the school and the principal and the school district and the whole lot. As far as what I want to happen is I want them to get rid of Harbaugh. And I don't understand what this attachment to Harbaugh is because how many bowl games has Harbaugh won?
One.
Has he beaten State and Ohio State in the last couple of years? Yeah. What's his overall record against them? I don't understand. He's a pompous piece of you know what. I don't understand what the attachment is to this guy. You know, to me, and that's why I love listening to you and Rico because you guys are objective, not subjective. And it sickens me to hear anybody calling in and all these people defending these course of actions where in the real world, which I know sports isn't the real world, and that's why I wanted to take it to, if you have kids, which I'm sure a lot of your listeners do, what are you teaching them? I mean, are you kidding me? It's ridiculous. It's an absolute embarrassment.
Yeah, I mean, and Barry, look, the biggest thing, I mean, there's a couple of notes. I mean, I continue to say it. You want to lob the whole Sparty radio thing out there because it's easy. Go for it. You got nothing. I mean, my resume on takes, hey, I get stuff wrong all the time. But when have I ever gone with my school? I don't need to. I don't love anything enough to lie. I don't love anything enough to turn into a cultist or a tinfoil wearing nut. The reality is, I shoot you straight. If it's my school, your school, or a school none of us care about, who the hell's got time to do anything else? Man, I don't control what other people do. I do what I do. So that's the first thing. And I appreciate the fact you at least listen. Rico and I try. That doesn't mean I don't love my school, and it doesn't mean I like yours.
No.
But call a spade a spade. If you think I'm treating this different if it's Michigan State, don't listen. Straight up. Like, why would you waste your time? But you know it wouldn't be different if it was State. That's why you listen. Mm-hmm. You hate to listen. You love to hate to love. So I just want to deal in reality, which is why I haven't been screaming from the hilltop, shut it down. You can't. It's not going to happen. But the idea, the talking point bingo, it's unbelievable to me. Now this report comes out and it's like, these people didn't even read it. It doesn't say they got this stuff illegally. It doesn't say they had a scouting network. It doesn't say they illegally recorded. That's Michigan's dossier on the rest of the Big Ten? That's what's going to tear the conference down? Okay.
That is the thing that you've been saying. Everybody does it. Yes, that is what everybody does. They don't pay to go to scout an opponent, to go to other places. You can't buy tickets. That stuff's illegal. I've offered a solution a long time ago. I gave you door number one. You chose violence. So, okay, good luck with violence, because with violence comes bloodshed, and you're about to get it.
Okay, now you're scaring me. All right, let's go to the people.
I'm just saying, you're going up against the NCAA like the NCAA and the Big Ten doesn't have money. Like, oh, we got money and we're going to wear you down. No, they have more money than you. And if the Big Ten is hurting for dollars, I'm quite sure there's 13 other schools that'll say, you know what, I'll Venmo you. How much you need?
Look, the problem really will boil down to what allies do you have? This is where I still, and I could easily be wrong, and I'm happy to eat crow if I am. It all feels like a bluff. It doesn't feel real. Michigan can't sue the Big Ten. You can't sue the conference you're a member of willingly. That's a non-thing. So, okay, then, if they go legal, discovery happens. Well, they don't want that. Plus, the Big Ten thought it was severe enough early on to present stuff to MSU before the game was played. All 13 coaches, all 13 ADs, and assuredly with the backing of their presidents, have said we have to have something happen. So when you want to talk about, Michigan's going to stand and fight, but fight what? You did this. So what are we fighting? And then if your answer is to go Nino Brown, New Jack City, okay, well, what do you have? Signs and things and pepperoni, and you're like, well, that's not the same thing. Now, let me ask you a question. If you got something that could burn OSU to the ground, why were you sitting on it?
Great point. That's an excellent point. That may be your finalists. They're in the final four for the drops right there. I like this one.
I mean, don't forget, or.
That's more Elite Eight. Sweet 16.
Okay. Just testing.
No, the oh my God guy. He's in there.
Caller Ron?
Yeah. That's Final Four level.
I hope Ron calls again at some point.
He'll
I don't want to see him turn into boat guy and he just disappears. 248-539-9797. Let's go to Dylan, 97.1. Dylan, what's going on, buddy?
Hi. So just to preface this off, I'm a Michigan fan, but they got
fine,
caught with
Dylan.
their pants down.
Okay.
They got caught with their pants down. They cheated. I 100% agree with that. The evidence just says it. Harbaugh did. Like, you don't not know this. But the thing is I hope that the Big Ten doesn't crash their moneymaker for the year for getting in the playoffs and that they get a chance to go all out and win the championship this year.
Yes.
Like, Louisville got their title stripped, but everyone remembers Louisville won that title over Michigan that year.
Dylan, I have no problem with what
you're
you're saying because you're being honest. I have no issue with it.
Yeah.
I respect it because you're not doing conspiracies.
No, you can take away the records after it's all done and change the books and all that, but that doesn't matter. You didn't take away the memories or the fun or you didn't really take away the championships if the record books got changed a little bit. That doesn't matter.
Correct.
If
Now,
they win it,
there is a cost of admission to this, though, and you don't have to care. I've continued to say it, Dylan. I am not mad for your perspective. Hell, I might have it myself. The point is, you can't ask anyone else to respect it, and B, you don't get to get mad at it. People are going to look at you.
No, I know.
And you may, you guys love those helmet stickers. You should create one with an asterisk on it because that's what the rest of the country's going to do. You don't have to care.
Not my problem.
Right.
That's not my problem.
Right.
No, but
If
Dylan,
Dylan,
you have a brain. I'm saying there are a lot of people in your fan base that don't, and they're going to get all bent out of shape. And it's like, you lost the right to get
100%
mad.
Correct. You're 100% correct. I personally hope they win it all, and I think they'll get a bunch of sanctions next year because they won't tank them this year.
Right.
I'm assuming they'll get a bunch of sanctions next year, and then it doesn't matter if they win. If they win, who cares?
Dylan, I've often said it. I'd lose to Michigan for the next 50 years if Michigan State could win a national title. I agree totally with you. Go play, go win, let it mean something to you, your family, your friends, and you have a good understanding of the world. I'm not mad at that perspective. Where I get angry is when people call up and sound like this cat. Can't do it. I just can't do it. There's not enough tinfoil in the kitchen to deal with people like that. When you call up, Dylan, we can talk. You're being straight up. I know we cheated. We look like ass. They're going to come and get us. But for right now, I want to have a good time. At least you're being honest with me.
And that's a lot of people can't do because it's like you feel like you're giving up, you're losing something.
I'll tell you what you're losing.
And you're going to be less than a fan.
And I'll tell you what you're losing. Next. Got him.
You got me, folks. Well, you know what? Hey, guys. If you like watching college basketball and your team disappoints you as much as I do, or you're into college football, NFL, whatever it is, you need the fastest internet around to keep up with the action like me. Xfinity connects me to more of the great games that I love, even when I'm disappointed. With Xfinity Internet, I get the speed I need at a great price, so no more frozen screens, no more pixelated videos, just pure uninterrupted streaming bliss. Xfinity Internet is built to handle all your digital demands with speeds that'll make your head spin, so you can enjoy all your favorite apps, all in one place with a Flex 4K streaming box. It makes watching your team lose in overtime outstanding. All with Xfinity Internet. Xfinity allows me to stream all my favorite shows and all my favorite games without interruption. That means I get the latest scores as they happen, injury updates, fantasy stats, you name it. Choose from a variety of speeds depending on your needs, including gig speeds up to 1.2 gigabits per second, and enjoy reliable internet on all your devices. To get started, call 1-800-XFINITY, visit Xfinity.com, or drop into a local Xfinity store today for more details. Maximum download speed of 940 megabits per second when hardwired via Ethernet. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed based on Xfinity's fastest available download speeds.
All right, America's favorite place to watch football, Stadium Swim, located at Circa Resort and Casino. All the biggest games, best viewing experience, 6 pools, 3 different levels. You're outside, biggest sports book on the globe. It's Circa Resort and Casino. Book your spot today at circalasvegas.com. We get to the callers momentarily. AP report, it read like propaganda. I know where it comes from. I get it. Good move by the school. They want to put some chum in the water, but I don't know. The cheap trick ain't working on me because nothing in that AP report says everyone did what you did. I mean, it says something about, well, someone had our signal. How'd they get them? If you have the information that Purdue or Rutgers or Ohio State illegally stole your signs, I will hand deliver it to the NCAA for you. I would be happy to do it. But you don't. So please, if you want to hold it up like the New Testament and sound like this nutcase, you're welcome to. But I'm not doing that. This is a classic diversionary tactic by the school. Because I think they know that they're in trouble. And I don't know what's going to happen. I know what I'd like to happen, but should and will. Guys, tomorrow's going to be a big day. But what I get confused about is, what exactly are we even doing here? We're talking about injunctions for a coach who's not even going to be here next year? Or if he is, the NCAA is going to say straight up, he can coach. He ain't going to be coaching for you. All while you're chasing a national title. I think Rico's been the lead dog on this, even though, Sparty. Rico was the smartest guy in the room by just saying, sit him down for a few games, make this go away, pin it on Stallions, move on. And instead, you've gone full Nino Brown. I don't know what to tell you. And if you think that fighting fire with fire is this, we got dirt on other schools, great. Then burn the whole conference down. I don't care. I'll have MSU go to the MAC.
I was about to say,
I miss being favored in games.
I mean, at that point, Petiti may just say, hey, how about this? I'm turning this car around. Nobody's going to a bowl game this year.
I'm turning the car around. Tony Petiti would have the shortest tenure of a Big Ten commissioner in history.
Yeah, nobody's going to a bowl game. And what else? Pay me my contract. I know you're going to fire me. Just pay me the money, and I'll go find something to do.
David, Ticket Text. What do you got, buddy?
I'm a Michigan fan and think Harbaugh should be fired now to give the team a chance at preserving whatever accomplishments this team might make this year.
I don't think you need to fire him. I don't. I think if you would have just come to the table like adults and not spoiled trust fund babies, this probably moves forward. Look, the NCAA is going to do what they do. I can't fix that. But in the near term, when the other 13 athletic directors and head coaches, and presumably with support of their presidents, is now against you, what are we doing here? Like, what kind of street fight are you trying to get into? If you hate this conference so much, leave. I encourage you to leave. I don't care where you go. Leave. Great. But this idea of, well, we'll sue the Big Ten. How exactly? And then once you sue, you realize, first of all, I don't even know if you can sue based on the bylaws. And I don't claim to be a total expert on it, but when you willfully join a conference, and that conference in good faith still exists, this isn't the breakup of one. Do you know why Oregon State and Washington State could sue? Everybody else left. Mm-hmm. I don't know that you could sue. And what grounds would you have? They've got you. See, what I think is Tony Petiti has stuff we don't know about. That's reasonable. I would hope he does.
Stuff that hasn't been released yet.
The NCAA, you would hope. Because if they're really going after him, you better have the goods. So I really don't understand, but then I do. It's a game of chicken. It's also, you're doing Not that you're a criminal. This isn't a court of law, but like you cheated. You're doing what people who get caught up in stuff do. You deny it, you reverse it, and you fire it right back. And you go, no. I'm not the perpetrator. You are. And you go, what? Huh? You just robbed a bank. Well, see, Bidenomics.
Banks have been robbing us for years.
Right, exactly. It's the bank's fault. Predatory interest.
Yeah, banking fees and all of that.
So I just wonder what you want to happen. Because I feel like you got, not all of you, many of you have been very fair. Many of you have been very good about this because it's not life or death. It's just, tell me what should happen. Let's stop doing the bingo board of talking points. Tell me what you think's happening tomorrow. And tell me how it goes. Because, look, Stoney asked the question this morning. I actually thought it was the right time to ask it. What should happen? David, take a text.
As a U of M fan, I think that other teams having Michigan signs has nothing to do with the current situation. That's not what the allegations are about. Someone else says, I love all these state fans coming to the realization that nothing's really going to come of this. At worst, Harbaugh will be suspended for a game or two, and this will all be over.
My question is, why do you care about what we think? I mean, if we don't matter, why do you so badly need our validation? What realization have we come to? I mean, you cheated. You look like a horse's ass. But what? Money rules everything around us? Yeah, that's not a realization. That's just common sense. Like the fact that you've got a stiffy over that, like, I don't know, man. You might need to talk to somebody. Oh, I love all these state fans. I mean, what are you, tucking a hotel room over this? Well, state fans realize, what, the way of the world? Like, I mean, like, what a weird flex.
Yeah, water emoji.
Water, peach, hammer, eggplant. Like that's your response to us not screaming irrational demands and saying SMU your program? What?
Arm flex emoji, yeah.
No, I'm saying, like, what? Because we're not irrational about it, that's the flex?
Yeah, you're just a concern because you know nothing's going to happen. Like,
concern on what? My team's going 3-9.
Yeah, honestly.
There's my concern. My coach lost $80 million playing with his nuts. That's my concern. That's my concern.
When you say it like that, it sounds so ridiculous.
Because it is. God almighty. Carry on.
Oh, the report says that they have our signs and that Jim Harbaugh doesn't have any connections. Facts, bro. Oh, my.
Hold on.
Okay.
Time out. When did I say Harbaugh was in the report? He wasn't. It doesn't matter if he is. The bylaws say it doesn't matter. I've also said I think it's a bit of a witch hunt with Harbaugh. Okay, but bro, first of all, we're not bros. Second of all, because I'm going to take that as disrespect. Second of all, they have your signs. How did they get them? Bro, how did they get them? Did they obtain them illegally? Bro, did they go to your games and steal them and illegally record them? Bro, did they? Is that in the report? Bro. Facts, bro.
See, you throwing a lot of big words out there, so you throwing a lot of big words out there, so I'm gonna take that as a sign of disrespect.
Now I need you to help me complete this sale.
Right. Now don't be my Michigan fan, be my Michigan fan.
No, okay, yeah, but if you know the reference, you know. If you don't, you really missed out on an early 2000s classic. Be careful.
I'm going to need that warranty for the price of On the Hound.
Right, exactly. Oh, no, he's taken care of.
Right. You want? You want Michigan fan? Michigan fan just showed up.
Rolling 20s.
Right. You know what we used to do? Oh, God. Just for fun, man.
You don't laugh, you cry.
You know what? Fun fact.
Mm-hmm.
He shot that scene as his kid was being born. He had to hurry up and get to the hospital. That
Really?
was all that lived.
Are you serious?
Yep.
That's a great tidbit.
Yeah, it was like early in the morning. He showed up and he was like, "Hey guys," but he was struggling artist, so he needed the money to pay for this kid. But his kid was being born, so he was like, "Can we hurry this scene up?" So he just went off script.
Welcome to Smart Tech.
Yeah.
All right, Moran Buick GMC, car buying, certified car service. It's a breeze. Winter holidays around the corner. Moran makes sure you have everything to hit the road. Visit family. The Acadia, seating up to 7. Moran Buick GMC. You could lease a 2023 GMC Acadia, $267 a month. They got you covered. MoranExpress.com. Car buying made easy. And so is the certified service. You show up, you get the service, you're ready to roll, and you get a free loaner. It's Moran Buick GMC, and unlike other dealerships, they're going to give you the best price. MoranExpress.com. Moran Buick GMC, where you always get that best price, period. It's on Telegraph, just north of Eureka and Taylor, or at MoranExpress.com. Straight to the people. A lot of people have a lot of opinions on it. It is the story in sports. Nothing I can do. I'll do a PSA for you real quick. If you're bored tonight and you don't feel like watching low-rent safety school football, a.k.a. MAC, turn on the damn Red Wings. They are worth your time. And they do more than try hard. They win. Now, they're in the big city tonight. Madison Square Garden against the Rangers, off a huge win against the Bruins. I don't know, give the Red Wings 15 minutes. If you're bored, turn the channel, but give it a shot.
I mean,
they're worth it, man.
Waldo Stadium, the west side of the state.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. We got to do that over Red Wings.
A bunch of kids with an 18 on the ACT. That sounds awesome.
I take that as disrespect.
That's all for Jim Costa. That's all that is. Yeah, your GPA was. Hey, let's go to Joey, 97.1. Joey, what's going on, brother? How are you?
Good. Great show, guys. Great show. Let's put this in a proper perspective. I mean, cheating is all over. I mean, sign stealing is all over sports. Football coaches, the offensive coordinators are hiding their mouths because their signals are being stolen, plays are being stolen. Right. Baseball players, signals are being stolen from second base. This is all over sports. So, I would go to where the source is coming from these accusations. Someone is scared. So I think someone is scared of Jim Harbaugh and what he's creating at Michigan. I'm not a Michigan fan. I went to Eastern, played basketball, but somebody's scared up there. They the scandal before he had, and then let me ask you this question: you think Alabama is above board with all the recruiting successes they had down there? That smells down there. I mean, you just can't, accuse Harbaugh. You'll never be able to get Harbaugh for this because there's no way that you can tie it. Someone is scared. Is it Ohio State and Ryan Day? Harbaugh is beating Ryan Day like he stole something as of late. Michigan State, somebody is scared. So just like you said, Mike, there is a witch hunt out for Harbaugh. This thing here is, this thing is all over sports, stealing signs and things like that. So I don't know what you guys think about that.
No, I'll answer, and I appreciate the call. None of what you said applies to this. There's my answer. Stealing signs, hiding what you're saying, sandwich boards, signals, that's legal. That's all legal. And if you're not trying to steal signs in a game, then you're at a disadvantage. What's not all over sports is having 65 people in your employ and illegally attending and filming games, not using the All-22, not using the TV, not using game footage, illegally. You know what else I've never seen before? One of your assistant coaches on another team's sideline that he is not working for against a conference rival. Never seen that before. Alabama's recruiting had nothing to do with this. These are false equivalencies, and we end up right here.
I was going to say, I think a lot of people, when we talk, they just hear that Whopper song in their head.
Junior double bacon Whopper.
They're not comprehending what you're saying.
You guys, well, he could still go Whopper, 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 Whopper.
Double, triple bacon Whopper. I don't even know what I'm doing here.
Everybody steals. Everybody doesn't steal.
No.
Whopper,
and again, I'm not mad when people call in and go, well, what about okay. But can we focus on you got caught? You did something no one is seeing. Lane Kiffin just went on national TV. Now, if you think Lane Kiffin is some choir boy, I'll sell you to Brooklyn Bridge for $1. Lane Kiffin's at Ole Miss. Now, I happen to like Ole Miss. It's a hell of a good time for a football game, but they are a sleaze factory. If you think Lane Kiffin going on national TV and dropping a bomb on you is advisable, if he's got dirt, you're crazy. Kiffin just said straight up, this would have an incredible effect on how your team plays and your record, and it's way over the line. Well, if he were doing it, would he go out and say it? Whopper, whopper. Everybody steals signs. I rule this day.
At Michigan.
Have it your way.
Rules.
Oh.
I mean, guys. Man alive.
I still don't understand how weeks in we still get phone calls. But, you can't tie Harbaugh to this.
I'm not trying to.
Nobody said it is, but he's ultimately responsible for the new rule that's in there. So because he is deemed the CEO, it's on him.
I want to say something for the people in the back. I mean this. Me. I don't want Jim Harbaugh gone. I want a chance to beat him one more time before he leaves, preferably with a coach who's more focused with the ball on the field than the two between his legs. I don't know why some of you believe. No one's afraid of this man. My school has beaten him. Other schools have beaten him. You're having 2 really good years, 3 really good years. That happens. I don't get anything from him not being there. I'm sorry. What are you going to hire as his replacement? Bunsen and Beaker? You're going to hire a good coach. You're a good program. Well, again, you end up right here. I don't understand.
I've offered a solution a long time ago. It was a win-win. You keep him. You didn't need him but most of the games that I said, he'd be back in time for the Buckeyes. You go out there, you keep this going. This is over with. It's put behind you. But instead, you chose violence.
It's interesting they're running the smoke screen, that they're running it's a counteroffensive. I think Santono's in a tough spot. I mean, I don't think much of him. He's a fanboy, which I think is very dangerous to have as a president. But he understands what his regents want. He understands the value of football, which I respect. I just have a hard time that this is anything more than a bluff.
But I think they want to play.
Because if the Big Ten and the NCAA are not backing down on this whole, dude, you're gone indefinitely. No. We're not negotiating.
They're not bluffing the NCAA. They're not bluffing the Big Ten. They're bluffing the other schools. Basically, this is guy who got caught fooling around on his wife, and he says, you know what? I'm going to tell you who was all at that party. If you guys don't support me, you don't support me, I'm going to tell you everything. So that's what it is. They're saying we're going to call out Ohio State, Penn State, Nebraska, you name it. We're naming names. They're up on the stand, and they're Nino Brown right now. And you know what? You want to do this? Here's what we're going to do.
And I'll say it again. If you have Ohio State dead to rights as cheaters, which you don't, but if you did, 700 West Washington Street, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46202, NCAA headquarters. Dime them out and bury them. But that report, OSU shared your signs with proof. Did they illegally obtain them? Did they run a scouting network? Like, to my knowledge, the biggest crime Ohio State's committed is allowing their coach to use shoe polish in his beard.
You mean that's not natural color?
I really doubt it. I just don't know what we're doing. But tomorrow it's going down. I mean, ask anyone involved. Tomorrow's the day. So we'll talk to you guys about it. You tell me what should happen. I really would love to return to football. Please, God. Because I understand the real world. I don't believe this is going to result in what many people want. I just don't. Because the networks are going to step in and go, whoa. Hold on a minute. How much did we pay to broadcast Michigan, Ohio State? Yeah, hold on now. You're not going to bleep in the punch bowl. No, I do believe these conferences are compromised by the deals they've signed. There's too much money involved. Too much money.
Well, that's what I said. In the end, Petiti's gone. I think Petiti and Central Michigan are going to get hit the hardest when all the dust settles.
I wish I could tell the Central story on the air. I can't. I can't, but I know it. Maybe it'll come out. I'm not going to be the one to do it. Whopper, Junior, Whopper. Okay, that's enough. Let's not get carried away. 248-539-9797. All right, football. Remember the thing that actually takes place, not just the signs. Paulson's audio video, Sony 65-inch 4K OLED TV starting at $17.99. Guys, whether it's speakers, televisions, ask yourself this question. It's a value proposition. Michigan, Ohio State, you're amped up to go. Go buy 4 tickets to that game. How much is that going to cost you November 25th? Or go to Paulson's audio video and just get a killer TV and speaker setup for your man cave. Which one's going to last longer? It's Paulson's audio video, man. PaulsonsAV.com. Go there. Check the stock. Price is always lower than Amazon and Best Buy and all the rest. It's PaulsonsAV.com. Paulson's audio video. It is the toy store for grown-ups. All right, we will get back to your calls on U of M in a minute. For the sake of sanity and for those who don't like college football, believe me, there are plenty. Let's just, for one segment, some NFL. David.
So let's start with the Minnesota Vikings. Josh Dobbs winning a game. Didn't even know most of his teammates' names on Sunday. But here's the question that I have for you for them, because they are still in the wild card race. I'm calling the division. They're not going to win the NFC North. But will they continue to play well enough to stay in the wild card race?
No, and it's not a shot at Dobbs. I really, listening to some of the interviews and watching the interviews, how can you not root for him? That was incredible. I mean, he talked after the game just saying, look, I told the coaches, do not be afraid to call, anything in this playbook. I can do this. Like, I can execute this stuff. And there were moments in the game he had to go to Jordan Addison and go, hey, what's the route combination on this side of the field? Got it. Like, it was on the fly. He should be the highest paid backup QB in the NFL. He's not a starter. But, man, I'd love to have him on my team because he just seems like he is –
He's the young Teddy Bridgewater.
He's really smart, team-oriented. Dude, I just was happy for him. Now, here's the other thing. Man, if you're Atlanta, shut it down. Just shut it down. How do you lose to Josh Dobbs on no practice? You draft Bijan, you don't use him. You draft Pitts, you don't use him. Goodbye. I'm done with ATL. Done.
David, I'm going to say yes, because that may – you want to talk about privilege? That may be the luckiest team in the NFL. No matter what, they fall forward. You brought in a guy who didn't even know your lineman's name. He's over there practicing snaps with the center, and they still won. Yes, they'll keep finding ways. This will be a good story, and they'll stay in the wild card race, because for the last 2 years – no matter what happens, they come up smelling like roses.
So I'm going to make two statements on two teams in the NFL. You let me know if you agree with them or not. First one, the Dolphins are pretenders. Number one offense in the NFL, but they've lost to the Bills, the Eagles, and Chiefs, and beaten Patriots twice, Panthers, Giants, Broncos, and Chargers, which is no great shakes.
6-0 versus teams under 500, 0-3 versus teams over. Look, I think the injuries play a role to a certain point. But they've gotten healthy in the secondary. I understand A-Shane's out. David, I think at this point in the year, if you haven't beaten anyone with a record above 500, you might be phony. And that game against Kansas City was kind of gift-wrapped. It was right there for them. You're on a neutral field. You're both halfway across the world. They didn't show up in the first half. They didn't show up.
I'm going to say they are. They're fun to watch. They're
Very
entertaining.
fun to watch.
They have personality. But in a big game, man, put your money on whoever they're playing if that team has a winning record, because they just, they can bomb the Broncos. That's the Broncos.
Correct.
So, yeah.
Second statement is about the Ravens. They may be the best team in the NFL and may win the Super Bowl. They are rushing for 160 yards per game. They've also beaten the Bengals, who were down at the time. But Cleveland, Detroit, and Seattle, are they the best team in the NFL?
Right now, for me, they'd be number 2 behind Philly. Just because Philly's already more established. Lamar's been impressive with the changes he's made. The fact that they lost J.K. Dobbins and they just find running backs, because why, David?
You don't pay running backs.
Keaton Mitchell, Justice Hill, the Gus Bus, it doesn't matter. Top 5-0, top 5D, great special teams. Justin Tucker's a weapon. It's absolutely a Super Bowl team. If this is how Lamar is going to play, from the pocket, accurate throws, yeah, man, I'm there.
I can't say that, only because then there's games where they just look like, wow, who is this team? Well, thank God we got this all-world kicker, because he's going to score all the points for us. And then they'll go out and hammer teams like the Lions and Seattle. So I can't say they're the best team, David. They're definitely a Super Bowl caliber team, but not the best team. Philly, to me, finds ways to get the job done. It ain't pretty. None of their games are, But man, they do. They make the big plays when they have to.
So there was a lot of information, a lot of news coming out over the weekend regarding the Las Vegas Raiders, how the owner is losing $85 million because he fired his coach, his GM, the offensive coordinator. Then they also benched their quarterback, which means if they decide to cut him or trade him, that's $28 million in dead cap. But I think the most interesting story came out of Jay Glazer on Sunday morning when he talked about the team meeting and they just let it all hang out, said whatever they wanted to say, and that McDaniels let Antonio Pierce speak, and Antonio Pierce spoke on how the Giants had the mentality that they were going to beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. They just had it. They believe that they can do this. After that, Josh McDaniels went to Antonio Pierce and he says, don't talk about the Patriots like that.
Basically, this is the Spider-Man meme. Patricia is McDaniels. McDaniels
Pretty
is
much.
Patricia.
Pretty much.
They alienated an entire locker room of grown-ass men. You can't treat him that way. They begged him to change. He didn't. And the minute they got him gone, they just played more inspired football. I think it's real simple. Josh McDaniels and Patricia were good at what they did, but they could never be head coaches.
Yeah, they all wanted to be Bill Belichick, and they couldn't.
Yeah, those
and
players
would've
believed
thought,
in those guys.
You would have thought that if I left Belichick's tree, you know what? I'm going to do what no one else has done. I'm not going to try to be Bill. I'm going to try to be fun. I'm going to try to do this. They didn't, David. Yeah, I mean, the fact that you were more offended because you brought up the Patriots example.
Then go back to the Patriots.
Here's the other thing.
Bro,
It
he
was a
stood
weird,
up for you, and I didn't like that example. Well, you know what? You're fired.
It's a weird thing, too. Did you see the reports that the $85 million will largely be paid by offset and mitigation? So, splashy headline, but it sounds like they won't be on the hook for nearly that.
Yeah,
Correct.
and real quick, Dave, before you get to your last one, let's give it up to the NFL because apparently somebody forgot to do their due diligence when it came to the flex games and move some things around. So Thursday night, we get Carolina at Chicago. But wait, Mike, there's more. You know what your Sunday night game is? Jets at Las Vegas.
Oh, come on.
They didn't change that.
They didn't change the game.
Oh,
they
God.
didn't flex it out.
Oh, God.
And then I guess you get a reprieve Monday night.
No, I don't.
Denver's at Buffalo.
I
That's
quit.
not a reprieve.
How do we go from 4 amazing games this week to that?
The Jets at in Las Vegas against the Raiders. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy is right. This is a team I would rather see on any of those time slots, and that would be the Houston Texans. You know why? Because they're exciting to watch because of C.J. Stroud. I have to apologize to him. I was wrong. He came out of Ohio State, didn't think he would work out. Well, he's working out. 5 touchdowns, a comeback victory for him, 46 seconds left, and they won the game. He's top 10 in yards, top 5 in QB rating, top 10 in touchdowns.
You ever think
It's good.
You ever think why you formed that opinion? Which, by the way, I was guilty of too.
Why I formed it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did you feel like it wouldn't work out?
Because he didn't beat Michigan.
Huh. Interesting.
Just saying.
But hey, everyone's doing it.
Wait, does this mean you're going to give Brian Hartline a chance?
No. It just means we formed a narrative around CJ that he was soft and he couldn't get it done in that spot. He needed the Georgia game to reclaim himself. The reality is he may have been playing in 2 compromised football games.
You know who's pulling the Mike Valeni right now, picking up every chair in his house and throwing it down? That's Kerry Combs, defensive coordinator for Ohio State.
Hey, I lost his job. I'm just throwing it out there.
You're right about that.
I mean, it's just weird how 1 game or 2 games, and then this scandal comes out, and you can't prove it, but you go, geez, what if the 4 or 5 big moments I hold against him, what if some of those were compromised? Yeah, and guess what? Carolina got the wrong guy. The Keebler elf, I will be in disbelief if he ever looks as good as Stroud.
But this is one of those times where the GM went with the smart pick, and he's this, and this guy got a 3 on the Wonderlic test, and that's, you get a 5 if you spell your name right. He misspelled his last name. It's like, yeah, but he was good. I don't care. Okay.
And that is in football today.
All right, 5 o'clock. Happy to have you with us here. Still getting used to it being dark at this point, but here we are. Let's outline where we're at. So today has been filled with, we had a choice as a show. We could view the AP report for what it is and ignore it, but then that's not fair. Or endure another show of Michigan scandal. We chose B because we have a business to run. So the Associated Press put a piece out that a couple of Big Ten schools had Michigan's signals. What it didn't do was establish, were they obtained illegally? Was there illegal scouting? Was there a travel log? There was none of that. So, there's also a line in there about how the person came forward because they felt like Harbaugh was getting railroaded. Kind of makes you wonder, who are they and what do they have to gain by doing that? But I digress. Fine. So we started the show with this. What we're not going to do is everyone's doing. No, not everyone's doing it. There is nothing in that piece that rises to the level of what you did. Again, if you're a third grader and you steal a pencil in class and you get caught, no one cares that you saw Donna steal chalk and take it home. I caught you. But if you haven't, if Michigan firing back is we're going to investigate all the other schools. Okay, first of all, what are you, 12? Second of all, by all means, if you have the information, you can crush Ohio State. Do it. Turn them in. But it doesn't change what you're doing. This isn't a courtroom. This isn't a plea deal. You're not turning state's evidence. You're not Sammy the Bull Gravano. So I think you're running a distraction. And that's part of your playbook. But what I can't understand is how self-respecting adults, some that work here, some that don't, well, see, as if this does what? Exonerate you? Hell no, it doesn't. Coaches stealing signals in game and talking to each other about it, that's called the job. I never got mad at you if you stole a sign in a game or if you had a thought tank. But when you got Sergeant Stallions showing up at our stadium and allegedly 65 people in his employ to illegally scout and record in person, guys, it's not the same thing. So we said, okay, here's the report. Let's talk. You want to hold it up like the New Testament. What does it mean? And what do you think should happen now? Because tomorrow, according to anyone who knows anything, tomorrow will be the day. Petiti versus Ono, and it's go time. That it's all coming down tomorrow. Mm-hmm. I think this whole thing has gotten out of hand. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I think it was pretty clear Michigan cheated early. I don't care whether Harbaugh knew or not. I'm not here to try to establish that connection. But this could have been handled early. Rico was all over it. You, if you were a self-respecting university that actually had and honored the core values you claim to have, you would have come to the table and went, oh, no. Okay, we're getting to the bottom of this, and we are also going to do X, Y, and Z. You did none of that. You did none of it. You distracted, you deflected, now you're on the offensive. Okay, well, now it's Penn State week. I think it's absurd we're still talking about it. But it's clear the other 13 schools want something to happen. You don't have any allies. So do you believe you can go to war against the conference? And how exactly does that look? I don't know. I don't think you can sue because that would violate the core constitution of the bylaws. If you did, what leg would you stand on? Oh, you would want due process. Well, precedent's already been set. There was no due process for Michigan State's players last year. The Big Ten called up 10 minutes later and went, yeah, body bag those 8 guys. Yep. And MSU.
Do I have a choice? Not really.
Oh, no. I'll file an injunction. No, you'll suspend your players. So I guess I want to know what will happen. It's a team capable of winning the national title. It's something that I think as fans you desperately want, respect. But guys, what the hell are we even doing here?
Well, it's funny that you said that, Mike, because you can go out and beat Penn State this weekend and it doesn't change anything because you're a good team. You have all the tools that it takes to run the table and win games. It's the longer this goes, the more this is a story. And then we stop talking about how you're winning games. And then you get angry. Like, why aren't you talking that we beat Penn State? Because this is still here. Make it go away. That was my suggestion weeks ago. You don't want this hanging over because let's say you beat the Buckeyes and you win the Big Ten championship game. Now you're going to get a month of media talking, not about how you won the Big Ten, but what's going on? What's the latest in the investigation? And then you're going to get angry. If you want to win, just say, I want to win. We'll deal with this later. Or you just put it to the side and trust your team can go out and win these games without Harbaugh or whoever on the sidelines and just make this go away. If you're a true fan, David, I'm not a Wolverine fan, but to me that makes sense.
It makes total sense, but I'm apparently not a Michigan fan either.
Okay.
So. All
right. What do you mean?
Oh, all the ticket texters all day, all the listeners, they say I don't speak for Michigan. I'm not a Michigan fan, not a real one. I'm going with what you all tell me to say. So,
yeah, well, okay.
Some even come through and said that I am Steven from Django. So, no. It is what it is with these people.
Wow. Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
You're going to find the by and by all right.
I'm not partaking in this. That's a hell of a film. But I am not going to partake in this moment.
That's still my favorite line. Or you going to find the by and by, all right.
Now, say goodbye. No, I see, here's the problem. This is what you guys sound like when you say that about David. I mean, that's like cult behavior. Because David doesn't go along with all the party line, you're not a member of the club anymore?
And for the record, David can disagree with me, Mike, Kenny, Roberto, anybody. I asked him for his opinion because it means a little bit more to him because he is a Michigan fan. Contrary to popular belief, he is.
Yeah, I just wanted it to be over. Just take the suspension and be done. Let me work and
play.
Get the championship.
And let's start talking in Penn State, Michigan.
Thank you.
Now, again, I don't think the obsession with Harbaugh is correct. I'll say it again. I don't think the NCAA and Big Ten's obsession with him is correct. Meaning, the punishment should be about the team. You all benefited, you all pay. I've never gone on these airwaves saying my goal was getting him suspended. No, reality is the only penalty that matters is what prevents you from winning the Big Ten or what prevents you from the national title. I really don't care if Harbaugh's there or not. I think Harbaugh is symbolism. And if you want to have a discussion about more believable or not, did Harbaugh know, should he know, we can. I'm not Perry Mason. I'm not going to have a slideshow and an F around and find out chart about Harbaugh knew. Guys, he doesn't have to know to pay the price. But I have said, and I think you agree, Rico, he's not really the target for me or you. No. I don't care.
No, but he's upset so many people. He is in the crosshairs. And honestly, yeah, if you sacrificed him, this would all go away. Nobody wants Sharon Moore. Nobody wants any of your coordinators.
I do. See, that's the difference. I want the guys who work directly with Stallions on a play-in, play-out basis to execute that caper.
And it's kind of like Central Michigan. You know who the person is that worked with Stallions. Because let's face it, somebody did.
Oh, I know the person.
I would serve that. If that's the other thing. If you're Michigan, give that person up. It's like Central Michigan. You know who the person is that got Stallions on the sideline. Give that person up now, save your program, or close ranks and watch it just sink.
CMU is going to burn to the ground.
It is. And it's why did you burn it to the ground? We were protecting Michigan. But you don't get a Michigan paycheck. Yeah, but I know. But
the problem is, from what, and I don't want to go to the CMU thing, but like, man, they don't like Jim.
So
the guys who work there, you think Mac likes Jim? You think Zordich likes Jim? Hell no, they don't.
If I'm Mac, guys, I'm going to put the coaches on the line. You guys are going to run gassers until somebody finally admits it was me.
It's not hard to figure out who it was, and I'll leave it at that. Let's go to Robert, 97.1. Robert, how you doing, buddy?
Robert.
I don't think we have Robert. Okay, we'll keep it moving. Let's go to Nick, 97.1. Hi, Nick.
Hey, Mike, it's me, the money guy. Can I hear my drop?
Hold on. You're a legend now. I got to do it.
Yeah.
So good. Welcome.
I still don't think it compares to the legendary The Chair Drop. That's if that doesn't make the Final Four, man, I don't know what to think. But so this story that's coming out to me, it's just lunacy theater to me. I mean, and hearing that it might be true that Rutgers and Ohio State were also breaking the rules in some way, but nothing like what Michigan was doing. And it feels like Michigan is either unintentionally or intentionally trying to blackmail other teams like Rico's doing by releasing this info that they have, information on other teams breaking the rules in the Big Ten, like they're freaking Lenny Dykstra who blackmailed umpires by hiring private PIs to dig up dirt on these people. Like, what are we talking about? And it's hilarious that Michigan even is trying to do this because, well, blackmailing only works when everyone else doesn't already know you're trying to do it. So even if that's what they were trying to do, like you insinuated, Rico, they've lost that option because it's out in the open. And for those people who are out there saying, oh, well, teams like Ohio State were just stealing signs just like we were, so that somehow makes us less guilty and our punishment should be reduced. Let's just play devil's advocate and say for a second that what you're saying was actually true. Historically, there's at least one other case that I can think of in sports where somebody tried to do this. Enter Alex Rodriguez, who was being investigated as part of the Biogenesis HGH PED scandal, somebody who had already lied about breaking the rules and cheating once, like Harbaugh, and somebody who was already hated by most of the league, like Harbaugh. He did exactly what I believe Michigan and Michigan's fan base as a whole is attempting to do right now. When the investigation was approaching critical mass and it felt like a statement on the scandal was about to be made, Alex Rodriguez leaked unredacted records of documents that had been published in the Miami Times that leaked the names of Ryan Braun, former teammate Melky Cabrera, and his own teammate at the time, Francisco Cervelli, onto the web, taking PED cocktails. Now just ask A-Rod how that helped him in any way, shape, or form. Right. Spoiler alert, it didn't. In fact, the MLB actually acknowledged it may have made them come down even harder on A-Rod as a result.
Nick, that is where, and again, that is why, and I appreciate it. I don't get what their end game is here. Now, if you just want to look good to your people, all right, I can understand it. But when the rubber's going to meet the road, how does Michigan win? If the win is we're going to kick the can down the line, if that's your win, cool. The problem is you're only going to make tomorrow worse. That's where I don't get it.
But tomorrow we may have a natty trophy in the trophy case.
For about 10 minutes. I'm telling you, if you play this game, they're going to try to smear you later.
Oh, no, you're going to tick off everybody, and they're going to lay the hammer down.
All right, FanDuel. Remember, there's actual sports to talk about at a certain point. We talked about Red Wings tonight. No Shesterkin. Let's get it. Wings plus 125. You place a money line wager.
Still apologize for my bets last night. Sorry.
You can get $150 if your team wins. Mistakes were made, Rico, and we're not going to shame you. They got more ways to play. It's FanDuel.com/ticket. FanDuel, the official partner of the NFL, and 97.1 must be 21 and up, present Michigan. First online real money wager only. $5 pregame money line wager required. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued. Non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms, sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-270-7117. All right, David, a couple of ticket texts and then right to the phones. And again, what should happen? And don't put what Stephen A. or McAfee or other people are doing. You ain't hearing us yell about Michigan should be banned from this and been shut down. I don't control what they do. I have tried to be as fair about this as possible. The only thing I have said to you is nothing is not an option. Now, some dirt went down, and I think it's fair to have a problem with it. Now, if you're all along the checkpoints here, some of you, not all, some have tried to do is deflection, divert. Well, there's no proof. Okay, well, here's your proof. Well, who got us the proof? It doesn't matter. Well, Harbaugh didn't know. Also, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Well, no competitive advantage. Unfortunately, most people in the sport highly disagree, including every other team in the conference. Guys, what should happen? Because where this has gone, I mean, I know many of you are like, well, Mike, you get angry about sports all the time. Yeah, I get angry about the games. I get angry when my team loses or stuff like that. This is such nonsense. I am watching one of the top 25 universities on the globe with an allegedly bright, brilliant academic at the helm talking about filing an injunction to avoid a suspension of a football coach. I mean, I want to laugh my balls off. Are you kidding me? This is what we've arrived at? Now their answer is not owning up to it, and we're going to get dirt on other schools. So here's what I've said. If you can get a conference rival in trouble, go do it. But that's not what that AP story was. That AP story read like propaganda. The AP story, no disrespect, it doesn't show illegal scouting. It doesn't show the travel. It doesn't show how they were obtained. It just says, well, people did mean things to Michigan. It's like, okay, yeah. If you have proof, turn them in. Burn it down.
And for what I gathered, they did mean things to Michigan, but they didn't do it to the level that Michigan did. And, yeah, that's straight from the horse's mouth. He was like, no, it wasn't like that, but yeah.
So what should happen? And from the beginning, I think you and I have said it. I think we as a show that has the pulse of the people, guys, I understand you want to play for a national title. I'm not getting sanctimonious on you. I'm not shaming you for feeling that way. Hell, I identify with it. But I need to know what you think should happen here because you can't possibly live in this man's universe. You have to live amongst reality and go, all right, well, something needs to happen here. So that's it. That's how we've been talking about it. I don't speak for anybody else. David, you want to read a few of the ticket texts and I'll get some calls?
I'm a Michigan fan, but with everything going on, I'm really beginning to get annoyed with the school and fans who refuse to admit that Michigan did and continue to defend them. It is annoying.
It's just weird. I don't like anything enough to behave that way. I don't care. Like, if switch the whole roles. Say it was Izzo. You really think I'd approach this differently? Then I don't know why you listen to the show. I really don't. If you just think I have no integrity, guys, I don't have a logo on my paycheck like other people. I just shoot you straight. I mean, I get it. You want to play for it all. Your team's really good, but you can't go Lorenzo from training day. It's just not how it works.
I don't care what the punishment is as long as we're not denied the right to play in the CFP. Go win it all.
I get it. I just worry the way you're approaching this could make it worse down the line. But that's not, I mean, honestly, if you win the national title, they could take it away from you. Does it matter? You were at the game. If somehow they hit you hard next year and Harbaugh's not here, does it matter? Hey, believe me, if Tom Izzo could win a national title and then he disappears into space, would I take that deal? Yes. Even though I know whoever replaces him will be awful and state basketball will go back to Judd the late years, I would take it if I could get the natty now.
What if the banner comes down?
That would anger me. But I'm different. I'm not these people. I'm not a cultist. That would anger me. I'd be so angry at my school. And if it was an MSU assistant that did this, I would be livid. But they're knowing how Tom Izzo operates, knowing how it works, it would be an impossibility for Tom not to know what his assistant was up to. See, this is my problem. The same people that want to tell me that Tom Izzo should have known about Larry Nassar, a man he had never met and had nothing to do with the basketball program, are the same people telling me that Jim Harbaugh doesn't know the guy whispering in his ear on the sideline and doesn't know what he's up to. Like, you don't get to have that both ways. So I look at it and I'm like, dude, coaches know everything. They know everything. They're control freaks. Coaches are wackos.
Yeah, they are.
But if you want to tell me
down to the way their buildings are designed so the glass walls can overlook everything.
But if you want to tell me Harbaugh didn't know, fine. That really doesn't have a bearing on how I feel about the cheating. It just means I don't need to go on some crusade against Harbaugh. I don't care. I don't. I feel like if the team benefited inappropriately, there should be a stiff price to pay. So, and again, Lane Kiffin on national TV today went out and basically said the same thing. I can get the quote for you. Did it on SportsCenter. You do what you want with it.
I mean, this is only going to get worse. That's why I just take the deal now. Damn. Do what you got to do. And maybe he could still be able to coach the Ohio State game, but even if he can't and you win that game, you'll feel vindicated, and now you can go on with your way and destroy Iowa or Nebraska or Minnesota or wherever you play in Indianapolis and get ready for the college football playoffs.
Let's go to Mario, 97.1. Mario, what's going on, brother? How are you?
Hey, guys. I actually have two things I want to bring up here. With the release recently of that AP report, I think it paints a pretty broad picture, or a better picture, I should say, in regards to the events that have taken place over the course of the last week. The mob mentality that came about with all these ADs and coaches coming up to Petiti and almost forcing his hand to go on ahead and make a decision against Michigan. With what was reported in that AP report, I think it makes a lot more sense. The reason being, in that Petiti is going after Michigan due to the sportsmanship policy. And if there's not a bigger detriment against the sportsmanship policy, I think collusion is definitely it. And I think the things that came out from that almost make it worse than what Michigan has been going through. And the reason being, you have these teams in person watching these games. And it's been stated on here before that no rules have been broken. But according to the NCAA, it states that you can't have someone scouting in person. But
Mario, where in that report? Hold on. David, you're raising an objection here. Talk to Mario.
It doesn't say that in the AP report. It says that they shared
information. Yeah, they shared information. So you have these teams right there playing against Michigan. You have these teams. I mean, you're playing against them. So,
right, but that's not illegally taping and scouting. It didn't say that.
It isn't illegal. It isn't illegal. But when you collude together and you pass along this information from the information that you have obtained by sign stealing during the game itself,
right,
and spread it amongst multiple teams, that's probably as bad, if not worse, than sending some low-level analyst.
Yeah, see, you got to stop with the low-level analyst thing, because if he's so low-level, why did he have access to Minter, Moore, and Jim on game day?
Well, because every single team, every single program, every single major program has someone like him there. And they all have access to these guys.
Okay, hold on. But you can't – but Mario, you can't call him low-level and then say you have access to these guys.
Thank you. That's all I ask.
No. I mean, you can do that.
No. A cashier at Walmart does not pick up the phone and call the president of Walmart, and he takes the call.
No, but he's in the same building, right? So the cashier at Walmart does talk to the general manager at Walmart, right? He doesn't just have to sit there and go to his superior and then stop there.
Okay. And again, listen, I don't mean any – Mario, I'm not being disrespectful. You can look at the clock. I'm sure you're wearing a watch. 5:30 and I'm way over time. I'm not being a Richard about it. I got to roll, and I'm not doing this. I'm going to tell you about what the hell am I telling you about here? I'm going to tell you about heating and cooling.
I'm about to say something.
No, just go. Just go. Mario, no diss. I got to roll. When your furnace goes out, you need reliable service. Mastercraft Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, Electrical, they got you covered 24/7. Locally owned, 40 years, back their work with a 5-year warranty. Mastercraft, your one-stop shop for heating, AC, plumbing, electrical, you name it, they got it. Mastercraft, they can't get to you same day. They'll take $100 off that next day service. Visit mastercraftheating.com. All right, we'll get back to your calls momentarily. Just for our own sanity, a word on the rest of college football. Let's power rank this puppy. David. I have grown to enjoy this segment, and it is a reminder for the people who will angrily go to Ticket Text. This is not the AP poll. If you want the AP poll, go and get it. This is a power rank. This is about if Team A played Team B this week, who Rico Beard believes would win. That's it. That's all.
That is it, Mike. And let's just go ahead and get started with this. I actually had to seek counsel from my wartime consigliere.
Aha.
At number 10, we'd like to welcome back Penn State. Penn State, 8-1 on the road at Maryland. And wow, what a bounce back. They destroyed Maryland 51-15.
Here's the only takeaway I offer you. They threw 6 passes at least 20 yards down the field. They'd only done that 14 times all year prior. Drew Aller completed 3 of them. Now, I'm not telling you that changes anything, but if you're going to beat Michigan, I do have a hard time imagining you'll do it in 10, 11, 12, 13 play drives. You must have explosiveness. Penn State looks to have none of it. This weekend, to me, is kind of the final frontier for James Franklin. No coach. Well, one coach has been a bigger fraud. But no coach other than that is a bigger fraud than James Franklin. He has been there how long? Where are the signature wins? Where's the Big Ten championship? This is the end of the line. You're at home. It's noon.
Yeah.
Michigan's in a little bit of chaos. They haven't played anybody. You're battle tested. Show me you're worth it.
Yeah, exactly. They are there. At number 9, we have Ole Miss. Ole Miss had the bye week. They got Georgia coming up this weekend. We're going to find out everything we know about Ole Miss. Kind of like Penn State.
And again, it's not about being good or bad. Ole Miss is a good football team. But if you want to be considered a playoff team, you got to be great. You got to be elite. Now, Ole Miss had a dress rehearsal for this game. They went to Tuscaloosa, and they couldn't beat what I think is one of the lesser Bama teams of a decade. Okay, well, same thing I said about James Franklin. Lane, here it is. You win this game, you elevate Ole Miss's profile. You win this game, you now can talk about doing something unthinkable at Ole Miss, which is actually getting to an SEC championship game.
Yep.
Do I think they'll do it? Hell no, I don't. But they have a right to be on that list. So I'm good where we're at so far. Because I don't think either team will be there next week.
Teams 5 through 8, I consider the next tier. It's very difficult. But, Mike, at number 8, your Texas Longhorns.
They're just surviving without Quinn Ewers. It doesn't have to be a work of art. Malik Murphy's horrific. Ewers could play this weekend at TCU. I think they're perfectly ranked where you got them. Without Ewers, they can't be placed any higher than this.
See, I don't think they even need to play Ewers against TCU. If you can squeeze an extra week out of him.
Yeah, but the frog
I know,
thing and the fangs.
I know, but you have bigger fish to fry, and TCU is not the same TCU.
Noted. Yeah,
you can beat them.
Pretty terrible. Yeah, no, I like him at 8. I'm good with that.
At number 7, I get the University of Oregon.
Oh, we have a huge disagreement now.
Oregon.
This list is crap.
There's a method to the madness.
Let me hear it.
Oregon defeated Cal. They destroyed Cal, 63-19.
Stealing a child's wheelchair.
And Bo Nix in year 9 went out there and really put up Heisman Trophy-like numbers.
That's what he's done all year. Where's the but?
The but is the team I have at 6.
Okay, I'm going to listen to this because I'll just tell you Oregon would be in my top 5. So just do your thing. Your power.
You know what? It's funny because we had an argument over that. That's why I had to talk to my wartime consigliere over there.
Okay.
Kenny Cott.
Go ahead.
At number 6, I got Alabama. Alabama defeating LSU. Better victory. It was like 1 and 1A, but I rewarded Alabama for basically just – and before Jaden Daniels went out the game, Alabama was in control of that game. They were going to win.
Yeah, they were up 14 when Daniels went out.
That was a signature moment for this really underrated Alabama team. So that's why I got Alabama sitting at 6.
It's zombie Bama. I mean, it's either Milroe scrambling or hitting a deep shot. There's nothing intermediate, nothing short. He's incapable of doing it. Their O-line is nowhere near where it should be.
So he's a bulked-up Denard Robinson.
He's a bulked-up Joe Milton.
Okay.
I mean, it's just what it is. But again, Bama might find a way to being 11-1. It's absolutely crazy to me.
At number 5, I had the University of Michigan. You beat Purdue 41-13, but you've kind of soured me because when you broke down how many the best offenses that they played all year.
Yeah, let me pull it up. Hold on. I got that in my little notes.
That's why I had to talk to Kenny because they are undefeated.
Yeah,
I have to respect the fact that there is a 0 right there.
Here are the offenses.
But I seriously thought about moving Bama and Oregon ahead of them.
There's 133 Division I teams. Here are the level of offense Michigan has played. 130, 129, 127, 118, 113, 111, 102. They've played one offense in the top 90. It's UNLV. Very hard to grade them.
I do not respect your schedule, but you are undefeated. I think that...
And you've been impressive in victory.
You have. But they haven't played. But, Mike, I look at Bama and Oregon... I like those two teams better, but you're undefeated, so I'm going to respect the fact you haven't lost. At number 4, the Ohio State University. Waking up in the second half may not work against good teams because Rutgers had you beat. You fell for the fumble Ruski. Now, you pulled away. You start throwing the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr., which I still don't understand why you have to be reminded that you have the number 2 or 3 pick in the draft as a wide receiver.
He may go number 1 if Arizona gets it. But carry on.
You got Ibuka. You got weapons, and somehow or another, McCord just struggles. And it's like, wait, I can throw to him. Yes, you can. Ohio State wins 35-16. They are at number 4. At number 3, winning the shootout in L.A.
Oh, Rico.
The Washington Huskies.
Totally overrated.
52-42.
Wouldn't beat Michigan. Wouldn't beat OSU. Wouldn't beat Oregon in a rematch. Wouldn't beat Texas with Ewers. You can put them there. That is FAF. Fake as rhymes with duck. I can't with that team. The middle of that offensive line sucks. They can't stop a damn thing on defense.
They don't have to. They just outscore
Penix is wonderful, but you're not gonna win a title that way, and you know it.
Oh no, you're not. You're gonna have to play defense. You got lucky playing USC, but
all right, it's a power rank.
Let it play out.
Ooh, that was like a John remix. I like that.
At number 2, very impressed. They beat Pitt. It's Florida State. They went to Pitt and they won 24-7. Except, David, when you realize they did not have their 2 starting wide receivers, and they still got it done on the road. And it was, even though it's 24-7, it was never that close. You knew they were going to win this game. And at number 1, Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia defeats Missouri, ranked team. They got it done. It may not have been pretty, but that was classic SEC football.
Look, they still won by 9. It's a 2-possession game. Mizzou's a really good team. They are. I mean, I think they're probably one of the 16 to 18 best teams in America. It's a good test. Would I like to have seen Georgia a little more impressive? Sure. But here's what you can't leave out. They did it without their best player and arguably the best player in America. Brock Bowers is the number 1 college football player in America.
Except I'm starting to think that maybe they can just grow tight ends on trees.
Well, baby Bowers, whatever that kid's name is.
Delp. You're talking about Oscar Delp.
Oscar Delp.
I was like, wait, I thought he was hurt. Oh, that's not him.
That's baby Brock. Yeah.
I was like,
that's like Brock Bowers' mini pony.
Right. It's like back in the day when Penn State would just lose a linebacker and another one just pop in there and then we're going to keep this thing going. I like Georgia. I thought that was a very impressive win, Kenny. Your team sits at number 1. That's your power rankings. 97-1.
All right, we'll get back to your calls momentarily. Just for our own sanity, a word on the rest of college football. Let's power rank this puppy. David. I have grown to enjoy this segment, and it is a reminder for the people who will angrily go to Ticket Text. This is not the AP poll. If you want the AP poll, go and get it. This is a power rank. This is about if Team A played Team B this week, who Rico Beard believes would win. That's it. That's all.
That is it, Mike. And let's just go ahead and get started with this. I actually had to seek counsel from my wartime consigliere.
Aha.
At number 10, we'd like to welcome back Penn State. Penn State, 8-1 on the road at Maryland. And wow, what a bounce back. They destroyed Maryland 51-15.
Here's the only takeaway I offer you. They threw 6 passes, at least 20 yards down the field. They'd only done that 14 times all year prior. Drew Aller completed 3 of them. Now, I'm not telling you that changes anything, but if you're going to beat Michigan, I do have a hard time imagining you'll do it in 10, 11, 12, 13 play drives. You must have explosiveness. Penn State looks to have none of it. This weekend, to me, is kind of the final frontier for James Franklin. No coach. Well, one coach has been a bigger fraud. But no coach other than that is a bigger fraud than James Franklin. He has been there how long? Where are the signature wins? Where's the Big Ten championship? This is the end of the line. You're at home. It's noon.
Yeah.
Michigan's in a little bit of chaos. They haven't played anybody. You're battle tested. Show me you're worth it.
Yeah, exactly. They are there. At number 9, we have Ole Miss. Ole Miss had the bye week. They got Georgia coming up this weekend. We're going to find out everything we know about
Northville
Ole Miss,
Lumber,
kind of like
oldest
Penn
company in
State.
the state,
And again,
largest
it's
Trex
not about
decking
being
outlet
good
in
or
the
bad.
country.
Ole Miss
Nobody
is a good
stocks more.
football team.
Nobody sells more. The Northville Lumber, best in the game. They moved enough product to cover 26 football fields, and there's a reason. Everything's in stock all the time. They got a warehouse a mile down the road, so you don't have to worry about, well, supply chain and do. No, it's all there. You buy it, you get it, industry low pricing, all varieties, all styles. And the best part, if you need someone to build that deck, they got you covered. They'll introduce you to a Trex certified pro. So all you need to do is to stop on by, call Northville Lumber today, or go to northvillelumber.com. That's northvillelumber.com.
Your drive of the week
Yes,
this week
David.
is
Yes.
the very first time we've done this. It's an NFL drive. It is Texans 6-play, 75-yard drive, 40 seconds. C.J. Stroud with a pass up the middle, 14 yards. Then he also passed it 6 yards to Schultz, then 14 more yards to Brown. He eventually ends the drive on the Tampa 15 with
Tank.
a touchdown pass to Tank Dell.
Look, C.J. Stroud might just be that guy. And, I mean, look, Houston got mocked big time. They got it right with Will Anderson. They got it right with Stroud. It doesn't really matter having a first round. What?
No, I was about to say,
head.
no, you're right. They don't have a first round pick, and who
They don't
cares?
need one.
Because do you want C.J. Stroud or one of these quarterbacks who's yet unproven?
Right. Do you want Will Anderson or whoever's coming out as a pass rusher this year? So, yeah, man, it's real. I think D'Amico Ryans is real. Hell, they're kind of a fringy wild card type team. If C.J. Stroud got that team to the playoffs, he'd get a vote for MVP from me.
Oh, I think so.
If you wanted to bet him, I'm not telling you to do this. Do you know what Stroud's odds are for MVP?
I saw.
Plus 13,000.
Yeah. He has to get him to the playoffs. You're right.
He would have to, and again, it's more of a popularity contest than an actual award. It's very much like the Heisman.
Yeah, I had to use the rest of my picks in next year's draft, O-linemen and skill position players, and just really try to get this thing
Start
going.
building around him, and that is your drive of the week.
Tremendous. All right, a couple of ticket texts, and then we'll get to the guys. Rieger's coming in. I think Wojo's in today at some point. But, Rieger, you're laughing. What's going on?
Nothing. How you guys doing? No, we're just talking about what you guys are talking about out there. All anybody's talking about is this.
And I'm sick of it.
When will the news come out?
Tomorrow will be the day. I don't care anymore. Can we just talk football, please, Christ?
Let's say they suspend him. Could you get back to Lions by Thursday, do you think?
That would be my hope. But with this story, I don't know. This story's like just a sinkhole.
Because if the suspension comes Wednesday, then the injunction or whatever comes Thursday.
Then Santa Ono will do his hunger strike, and it'll be a disaster.
We can't even talk about Michigan's best matchup they've had this season. This is so pissed.
Can I say I heard the biggest lie I've heard during this entire situation?
Sure. On
these very airwaves a few hours ago.
Okay.
It was the biggest lie I've heard, and it was uttered by you, Michael Valenti.
Oh, Christ. Okay.
Ooh,
I'll play.
What
Go
is
ahead.
it? No.
What?
And you'll admit you were lying.
What?
In your moment of exasperation, you said, I'd rather be talking Red Wings than this. That's a lie.
No, I promise you.
No, there's no way.
Okay, can I explain?
Go ahead. Counselor.
We've waited how long for our professional teams to be good in this town? The Red Wings are like actually doing it.
It is a Tuesday with a big game.
They're exciting. They're fast. They're fun. They score. I mean what I'm telling you. Bob, this is no winning. You know what this is?
No, but you get...
This is debating the election.
Okay.
There's no win. At least with the Wings, we get to have ha-has and Kenny. And there's a point to it.
Okay, but this stirs passion and emotion.
This doesn't.
It's tiring.
Vitriol.
It's tiring.
And rivalry lines.
Honestly, we might as well talk election and debate.
Okay.
Whoops, wrong one.
Okay. If you had said, I'd rather be talking high school football than this, you'd admit that was a lie.
That would be a lie.
Okay. All right.
That would be a very big lie.
We're just finding grades of
No,
lies here.
Bob, you know what it is? If I went to Iowa State or DeVry, or I didn't go to college at all, this would be an easier topic. Where I went to school, it is the equivalent in politics of being on the opposing party. And it doesn't matter what you say. Everything reverts back to, well, you're left or right. It doesn't matter. And there's no win.
Well, but see, you're protected because you do not technically have a dog in this fight. This is more Michigan and Ohio State. You weren't even one of the few. You were one of the few that didn't even.
No, because Tucker
you guys were clean.
Tucker was too busy.
Peach,
hammer, eggplant, peach,
water
wet.
sprinkle.
I actually think you guys should apologize to Mel Tucker. Thank him for staying out of this. At least he wasn't cheating.
He was too stupid to get involved.
Hey, Tuck, are you in on this text or what? Where are you?
Eye emoji, peach, hammer.
Right. Fire.
Eggplant, water drop.
Can you guys explain what they all mean?
An eggplant. You wash it when you clean it before you eat it.
Peach is a fruit you get in Georgia.
Listen, if you've got information that could crush Ohio State, you think I care, go for it. Knock them out.
That's what I mean. You're somewhat removed from it.
No, but if you if you don't say anything positive, then you're siding with them.
I'm telling you. The loser and all, the biggest loser is going to be this dumbass Petiti.
Oh, God.
See, I don't think so.
Boob.
I think
Harvard-educated boob, though.
Okay, this is a strong take. This is the lead?
Well, no.
No, I'm going to listen
yeah.
if this is
Yeah.
the lead.
Yes.
You're not bluffing.
How can you have your entire constituency yelling at each other and you just sit there and send out anonymous veiled comments like, this is the worst scandal I've ever seen? He whispers to everybody.
All right, you know what? This might be a sales pitch, but he's got me.
You know
Just
what?
telling you.
And I'm just going to play along.
Mm-hmm.
This is the worst scandal I've ever seen. It's like I heard words like that last year, but it was different person.
Okay.
You know what?
See, this is how you make it about you.
You're in a beautiful Houston Oilers hat. We did a great show today. Don't sully it at the end.
Okay,
Wasn't that this year, though?
What?
The other one you were talking about? Oh.
No, he's
Different
talking
one.
about the tunnel thing.
Oh, gotcha.
No, this
Come
is
on,
me
keep up.
leaving. I'm not a part of this.
Yeah,
I'm out.
I abstain.
But I do feel so bad.
Got him.
I do feel so bad for you, Rieger.
Why? Why do you feel bad for me?
You waited all your life for something to happen last night, and you fell asleep.
He
on
screwed up. He
I
did.
I did. I really.
You fell asleep on the biggest moment troll job of your life.
You ever get so tired you're watching something and you know you're going to fall asleep,
No.
but you so desperately want to stay awake? That was me, James Madison, of Michigan State.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys went up by 6. I'm like, just go up by 15 so I can fall asleep.
He sends me messages in the morning like, it doesn't count.
Do you want to hear something that's not a lie?
Huh? What?
I didn't watch a single second of it.
Wow.
I was
So you're
watching
just
Monday-
going to keep spieling off lies here, are
No,
you?
I watched Monday Night Football.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't turn
Remember
it
the old
on.
Mike? Remember the old Mike that used to yell, I just want to win the
Yeah,
Big Ten?
yeah.
Remember that guy?
Yeah, but college basketball, I've been
Oh,
broken.
Michael,
Izzo doesn't
really
win games
upset.
in November. I know this. I'll partake Christmas on.
I remember a long time ago, before Wojo even worked here, you took a Friday off so you could go to a tournament game against Nevada.
I know.
You lost that game.
Really?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, we were doing.
Oh, that was in
I
Cleveland.
would not have remembered
wasn't
it if you would have won the game.
I think I was there. Was that in Cleveland?
I forget where it was.
Yeah.
It's all a blur.
It's like on a
brother.
Friday.
Yeah.
I remember
right.
you going to St. Louis for the Final Four.
I was 05.
There you go. You lost that one too.
Yeah. And then North Carolina said. Hey, it's MSU at the free throw line.
I only remember the losses.
MSU from 3.
Hey, can you get that ready for me? Hey, Petiti, get in here, would you?
The best is the Roberto laugh on it.
Because every time I think it's Roberto laughing live when I hear it.
It
I do
always
too.
sounds live.
All right,
It
listen.
does.
Wojo with a hell of a sales pitch here.
Oh,
now,
boy.
don't disappoint me.
Yeah.
97.1.
Yeah.